Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Cryptic Heartland Podcast, episode number 130. We got a packed house tonight. It's going to be a fun night. We're waiting for our guest, Janice, to join us. We're talking about Janice Leah from Neosho County Paranormal Investigators. We're supposed to have her on a few episodes back, but she had some family things to tend to, which is fine. Life happens, so we get it. And now we're finally getting her on the show, so we expect her to join us here just shortly. Sorry. These guys behind the scenes throw me off. But like I said, we got a full packed house. I'm Leah, one of the hosts of Cryptic Heartland Podcast. I'll just kind of go through everybody's names and everything that's on the show tonight. We got Jason right there to the left. We got Jake in the middle, one of the middles. We got Andy in the other middle. And, of course, we got Dan the man on the right.
Hello!
And then up above Dan and Andy, we got Renee, who's joining us out from Dodge City.
Renee.
And we'll have Janice here. Everybody. We'll have Janice here shortly. Like I said, she's working on some phone issues, but we'll get her on the show here very, very shortly. Yeah, so wow. I can't remember last time we've had a house like this, man. This is great.
I know.
I don't know how to act anymore. But no, it's good to have everybody here. I'm glad everybody's here, healthy, ready to go, and here's to another new year, right? 2021, guys. We're going to have some fun. We got some big stuff on the line here, or not on the line, but coming up for us, investigative-wise and podcast-wise and everywhere else. So we'll be rolling full steam ahead.
Hopefully, Carl and I are working on some things out in Dodge, so.
Awesome.
Big things.
Yep. Very cool. I can't wait for that. Go ahead and talk to you guys. I'm going to try to see if I can get a hold of Janice real quick here.
Not at all.
No talkie.
And then once we get her online, you'll want to put your headphones back on. You'll be able to hear her through Zoom. So.
No problem. I got mine ready to go. So that way I can hear Renee.
Yeah.
Out there in Dodge.
Old West.
I'll put them back on. So how everybody been doing, man? How's your week? Good? Yeah?
Doing well. Good.
Yeah.
Doing well.
Been a long week.
It has
Hang on,
been.
guys. I'm going to go ahead and let her come in right now.
Oh, shoot. I'm on it. Let me back up.
That was fun.
Can you hear us, Janice?
Yes, short and sweet.
Hey! Sorry
There
about all the
she
trouble
is.
there. Let me get her going here 1 second, guys.
How's it going,
That was
Janice?
my fault. I put an extra number in there.
Oh, okay. Technology is fun, isn't it?
Oh my God! I was about ready to drink.
Well, come join us then. We would like a good drinking session.
Cheers.
I actually have some peppermint schnapps.
Oh, yum.
That's some good stuff there.
We can make that happen. Anything's possible. 1 second here. Let me get everything kind of rearranged here. I apologize. Yeah, normally we do have a phone line set up for our call-in viewers, or call-in, even our guests that come on, and I took it down recently to do other things with that line, and of course we needed it tonight, so I apologize to Janice, and we'll have her. We have her in the flesh, kinda. We have her phone anyways, so that's good. So I'll just kind of run down with everybody. I kind of did an introduction for the viewers at home, but I'm Leo. I'm one of the producers of Cryptic Heartland, and I also run Everyday Legacy Paranormal, and I'm also a team member of Road Trip Paranormal. And then in studio, we got Jason Roberts, who I know you've been talking to also. He's part of Everyday Legacy Paranormal. He operates Road Trip Paranormal. He's also another producer on Cryptic Heartland. And then we got the rest of our team joining us tonight. We got Jake Frisbee, who's I don't know if you can see him or not. Probably not. Maybe you can. Then we also have Andy Rowe. We got Dan. Is it Gallagher? Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Nice, nailed it. And then I got my sister out, who's also part of the team out in Dodge City, Renee Fernandez. So, everybody, this is Janice, and make sure I say it right. Is it Leah?
Leah.
Leah. Darn it. That's the one name I butchered.
So close.
Okay. Well, I tried. I tried to get everybody's name right.
You're close.
Yeah. So Janice is part of Neosho County Paranormal Investigators, and Janice has been doing this probably longer than we have, possibly. We've been doing it. Oh gosh, how many years have we been doing it, Jason?
Well, I mean, personally, I've been probably doing this like 16 plus.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe even 17 years now, doing things. But how long have you been doing this, Janice?
Well, I started technically with the team or creating the team was in 2010.
Yeah.
But I didn't really get that off the ground until 2011. And then I had a website for quite a long time and just quit paying on it because everything was on Facebook. So created the page of May 2013.
Yeah.
Wow. So you've been definitely just as long as we have. Our team started, the original team, Everyday Legacy of Paranormal, started in 2007. And we've been going strong ever since. That we started branching off to other avenues. We got Road Trip Paranormal, who does all of basically our entertainment side of things, our public investigations, our ghost tours, our speaking engagements and whatnot.
The one thing I never thought I'd ever want to do.
And then we got Everyday Legacy Paranormal. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
The speaking engagements, is that what he's...
Yeah,
God, yeah.
Yeah, we go and do talks, yep.
I always hated public speaking, so, Then I get this, and then I turn it into it.
You do so well, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You don't give yourself enough credit.
Do you have a hard time on the phone, you said?
Yeah.
No, I do. Anything. Interviews, anything, so...
But you've met so many people, haven't you?
I was going to say, yeah, you've
Pardon
been...
me?
You've met so many people, haven't you?
Yeah, I have actually, all over the place.
Yeah, you've gotten yourself out there.
Yeah, I try, but I usually put the team members in front of the camera when I'm going live.
Smart. Very
Maybe
smart.
I need to do
prefer
that.
to be behind the camera. That's just the way I am about it. So.
No worries, understandable. So what got you first started? This is going to be the hack interview question. What first got you started in the paranormal? Was it a personal event in your life, or was it something that interested you all along? I mean, I know the answer to this, but for the viewers at home, I want to make sure they know.
Well, personally, for me, it was when I was younger, and I think this was in the late 70s. I had saw in the San Diego newspaper, I think it was 79, and it was a write-up of Ed and Lorraine Warren, and they were doing a case. It was a young girl that was a adopted girl in this one house. She had adopted parents. Anyhow, all this poltergeist activity was going on around her. So that's what, technically sparked my interest. But I had also lived in a house that I felt we had activity in. Didn't know what it was called then. I just knew we had ghosts. But I think like every kid, we all run around graveyards and do kind of a little, ghost hunting without even really at that time knowing what we were doing. So, yeah, and my twin sister passed away 20 years ago, so that really got me more interested, so.
Oh, I didn't know about that, man.
Yeah, I didn't do that. Which I was going to ask you, is that one of the reasons why your logo is the twins on the cover?
Yes, it is.
I figured as much,
yes,
yeah.
Memory.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, in fact, we just hit her 20-year mark of being gone, and
Oh my gosh.
this year, and it seemed like when we started the team, and like I say, when I started the team, it was 10 years since her passing.
Oh wow.
But I had a lot of things happening after that made me think and question, what was going on. So, I thought, I wonder if there's there's other people out there thinking the same way that I am.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
With those same kinds of questions.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I try to answer that for people, because a lot of times when people come to the page, they say, and they message me and they say, the first thing they say is, "You're going to think I'm crazy," and I always tell them, "No, I don't think you're crazy." And the second thing they always say is, "You're not going to believe this," and I always tell them, "Yes, I do believe it." So that's usually the two things people always say.
Yeah.
So I think we're, the voice for a lot of people.
Definitely. No, I understand 100%. Yeah, it is amazing because people, like you said, say that, you're going to think I'm crazy, and they don't realize that we already are on the same page with them as far as, the mental aspect of it.
Well, aren't we all a little crazy?
Well, yeah, we have to be. Well, and
we go diving into the dark and chasing after things that,
Well,
most people run away from.
Like I always say, most people, the same person runs away from that noise. We always run towards it. So, it's so maybe we are crazy. But no, I mean, I don't know. It's just it's over the years. It's always intrigued my piqued my interest as far as things go with the paranormal, and just I think it's the mystery behind it. But the fact that people are willing to reach out and seek help is what's the most important thing at the end of the day. That's what why we're into this field, for that reason.
And it sounds like you have a lot going on. You're covering a lot of different, investigations and events and
chasing Bigfoot.
Bigfoot, yeah.
Yeah, we also do Bigfoot in Kansas also too. So I mean, we try to touch all aspects of it, and it's just personal experiences is kind of what have brought in our horizon. Basically, we've been to places that we've seen things we never thought we would see. So it piqued our interest in other fields.
Working with other investigators that are actually diving into UFOs.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, we've covered evidence of things and possibly Bigfoot related, everything from possibly hair strands to definitely seeing the footprints in the shelters. Had the yelps and the noises out in the in the forest, the things we could never explain. That's what kind of shadows, yeah, and just different things, rock throwing. That kind of it all sounds like Bigfoot behavior, and it could it be some lunatic in the forest. There's always that possibility, but more than likely.
So where are you guys where are you looking for what areas are you looking for Bigfoot?
Down in Oklahoma, northeast Oklahoma is where we initially started,
yeah.
Right? Yeah, but we've also looked in Kansas, right, Jason? You can take over.
Right. Well, so we started down in Oklahoma on a case that we were invited to by another fellow investigator.
For paranormal.
Yeah. It was for a house out in the woods that was supposed to be possibly demonic. It was on Indian land. Or Native American land, sorry. Do the proper language on that, sorry. But when we went out there and he left us and we just started investigating ourselves, we ended up finding more evidence of Sasquatch out there, to the point of something coming into our camp, leaving footprints, pushing on our tents, all that stuff. So a buddy of mine who is on the team, who's kind of been MIA for a while now, but our buddy Brendan, he created Bigfoot in Kansas, and him and I have gone out to southeast Kansas. We've gone out west in western Kansas. We've casted prints in some areas that have been reported areas of sightings. We follow the BFRO. Which is also the same group that does Finding Bigfoot. And since we're here in Kansas, we just went out to those areas, and sure enough, we found the prints. So, and it was fun. And we found some areas late at night where we were hearing the actual screams, the wood knocks. It was just phenomenal.
We chased him to North Carolina as well.
And North Carolina, yeah.
Yeah, it's taking us cross country basically from near our states down to, like they said, North Carolina and other places. So it's interesting that starting out as paranormal investigators, you use the same type of mental thinking, study of the unknown. But it's the fact that we're able to branch out and go cross country to further our studies.
So what's your thought on Bigfoot, or has your team thought about that or talked about it?
Well, I've actually had one experience, and it was when I was younger, and I was really young. The teacher had taken us all to camp. It was called Cuyamaca Mountain in San Diego. It's east of San Diego County. And we were on the Cuyamaca Hill, and I swore there was something following us in there. And at the time, I think it was only in 6th grade. So that was before you even heard of it, so but I think, just from everything that I watch, I can't help but think that they're like interdimensional, that they can come and go from our dimension. I don't know, but it's just funny that we can't really find them. People will get photographs or even some videos, or the footprints, or even hair in, the leaves or trees or whatever. But, I like this one show that's on TV. It's like they're hunting Bigfoot or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, I think there's something out there, definitely. And we were just down in Broken Bow, Oklahoma for an event with Daryl Markison. And we got a cabin way, way away from everybody. I mean, literally, I seemed like it was 30 miles just to get to the town. But there was no running, there was no electricity, no internet, couldn't even use your cell phone. So a good part of that time I sat on the, outside, and it was along a creek right below us. And then there was just all this, open terrain. And I sat out there. I couldn't help it. I was like, I had my thermal imager camera, and I was like, I'm going to find this Bigfoot. never saw anything. But it's funny how you can sit out there and kind of like freak yourself out.
Yeah, definitely.
We've been through, I've been several times through Broken Bow, and been wanting to stay over there, man. So fascinated by the location and the I don't know, the woods out there and the mountains, and there's a lot of proclaimed Bigfoot sightings out there that I've been interested in. I have to get with you on that cabin location because we stayed at a cabin somewhat close to the city, but I've never been able to find one decently deep into the woods.
I can get you it. I can get that for you because there was 3 of us that went, and we were all, 3 ladies. And one of the ladies was not going to the event with us. And she's like, I am not staying out here by myself. Because, she couldn't even use her cell phone. So,
Perfect.
And luckily I had downloaded a few things on my cell phone, so I was able to actually have a little bit of something to do besides, well, I like the peace and quiet, actually. But I can get that for you.
Okay, yes. That would be
That'd
good,
be
too.
awesome.
Because
That'd
I've
be
been
awesome.
wanting to investigate out there for a while. There's there's a lot of good footprints and some pictures that have come out of that area. So I'd like to find out what I can see myself.
Shoot, I need to get you all out there and
Heck,
do some Bigfoot hunting. All of us.
And they
You,
actually have
Janice, everybody.
team building.
Yeah.
well, out there in Broken Bow, they actually have the ghost lights, and they actually have what they claim to be, of course, UFO sightings of the blue and the red lights as well. So down in the canyons.
Okay, so Janice, what's your thought on Bigfoot and UFOs in that connection?
She's already thinking they're interdimensional, which is
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Well, I honestly believe there is Bigfoot. That's me personally.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to UFOs, I've seen things that I can't explain. And one time was in New Mexico, and another time just sitting on a balcony in San Diego, because that's where I'm from. So, and just the way I watch these things travel, there's no way anything that we have can travel like that.
Right.
You can't like zip from one spot to the next and then zip and then just like disappear. You see it taken off and then it's gone. There's something out there. So
Agreed.
yeah, I believe
Absolutely.
in it all.
So how many here in the studio believe in aliens, UFOs?
Oh,
Yeah,
we're not the
I'm
only
pretty
ones
sure
here.
That's all
Okay.
of us.
That's all of us. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Sound like everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way
no
of getting
argument,
life.
no nothing.
Yeah,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
No, I think we've all had our own unique experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully
So
I've never been alien probed. I'm going with no. But
Hey, if I have, they did a good job because I don't remember it. So,
right.
hey, good job, guys. You must have sedated me enough or whatever, or been that gentle.
So the San Diego area. So
Yep.
growing up out there, one of the biggest cryptics out there in that area. You ever run across the chupacabra?
Oh.
I love the chupacabras.
No, actually, I haven't. And to be honest with you, I really didn't hear about that until I moved to Kansas. I've been here
Really?
15 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I stayed in San Diego. I was born and raised there. I stayed there 46 years, and
Okay.
then moved to Kansas. So
Well, and again, I
that was
think
a big,
I think that thing's
change.
somewhat new actually into the cryptic field anyway, because I mean, as far as the chupacabra, mangy dogs, but I think, I mean, but who knows? They look neat if they're real.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. I mean, chupacabra, I don't think it's the whole dog thing that everybody claims out in Texas.
Yeah.
Just a mangy dog.
Well, not by the stature of them. I mean, their chest and their back are so much larger than an actual dog,
Well,
to
if
where
you-
their behinds are smaller. But
That's
who
still
knows?
Texas. That's still Texas.
Right.
They think they're right on everything.
Yes.
So no, the actual
Sorry,
chupacabra is actually like stands on two legs. It supposedly is green skin, red eyes, scaly, and eats other creatures, other animals, and stuff
Yeah.
like that. That's what the chupacabra is all about, not the mangy dog that everybody sees.
Kind of like a mermaid. In a way.
I guess you can call it the land mermaid. I guess,
The legs.
but no.
So out in San Diego, going back to your lineage kind of a thing, did you get the chance to explore like the Star of India, the ship out there that's docked?
Yeah, in fact,
Mm.
that was one of the things that kind of brought me back to doing what I'm doing, is because my twin and I think we were like probably close to our mid to late 20s. We would we did the Star, we'd go to the Star of India, the Whaley House,
Mm-hmm.
all the missions, the different missions there. There's a lot of history there. And it's sad though, because now it's so grown over.
Yeah.
It's commercialized, basically. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, concrete and apartments, but there are those places that are still hold the history. And another area, and it's right by the Whaley House, is Old Town,
Mhm.
San Diego, and
Love that place.
yeah, great food.
Oh, the best. The best.
That was the hardest part about me moving to Kansas, was giving up all the good food. And
What's wrong with our food here?
Oh, it's not good.
Oh,
compared
you haven't
to-
had food until you
It's
got
different.
No, I haven't. I've been like here since
It's so much
1980.
better
You
than
know,
There's nothing better than, especially California, San Diego. Like she's
Damn
talking
it.
about Old Town. Oh
The
my god.
seafood's a lot fresher.
Yeah, they have the best food. I mean, Mexican food and
Okay,
everything
yeah,
else you
shut
think of. Fresh seafood, you name
all
it.
I've had is Kansas food, basically. Shut
We
up.
have good food.
Yes.
There's good food here
Yes,
too.
yes.
Thank
It's
you.
just different.
So,
Someday,
At least
Jason,
in our part.
someday.
Yeah, and I'll say, at least in our part of Kansas, it took me a while to get used to the Mexican food.
yeah.
I was like, what is this? What am I eating?
Well, a lot of it's Tex-Mex, which is Texas, Mexican kind of food blend.
Again, Texas.
And yeah,
Well,
I'm not.
I've never heard
I'm
of,
kidding.
I've never heard of certain things like
Mhm.
chalupas and things like that.
Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what is this?
That's what I try to tell
know.
people. That's not Mexican food. That's
Yeah.
commercialized American Mexican food is what that is. But hey, it sells, so whatever. I guess to each their own. Can't fault them for trying. But
They
so-
try.
I have actually found a couple of things on the menu at our local Mexican food place that I would consider close to being authentic. So it just took me a while, I had to eat everything on the menu to find those.
the sacrifices we make.
Exactly.
Just kind of going back to, like you said, you mentioned Whaley House was another one that's really good out there, especially for San Diego haunts. Did you capture anything out there, or anything of?
We weren't trying. We weren't, back when I was doing it with my twin, we were just basically running around.
Okay.
We didn't really have a name for it, back then. But I was very interested in ghosts, of course. I think a lot of people are. But it's when the show started coming out and everything that it got more popular. But I mean, we would run around all those different places, and actually, we had experiences in the Whaley House. And what's interesting is I had taken my oldest daughter in there, and this was years ago, because she is now in her 40s. So I'd taken her in, and she was only about 18 months old, and she just started getting sick, vomiting sick.
Mm.
So it made me wonder, what was going on in that place. And we were upstairs, and we were like by one of the bedrooms, and I swore I saw a woman like in a bustle dress.
Mm-hmm.
And then also when we were down in the parlor, could have swore I was hearing piano music playing. And then there was one of the light kind of like a chandelier,
Mm-hmm.
and it was moving. And then if you go out the back door, I believe it's the back door, side door, there's also a graveyard right there.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So, and that's when they were supposed to have hung that Yankee, can't remember his name, Yankee something. But apparently they hung him right where they dropped him, and that's where he was buried, apparently. So,
Wow.
just all the stories fascinated me. And even in the Star of India, if you go to the Star of India, you just get that vibe walking in there. And especially if you're alone, it can be a pretty interesting experience. But I would love to go back. I haven't been back since I left 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But I was going to say one thing about the Whaley House. I don't know if any of you watched that episode on the Holter Files with Dave Schrader.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was probably one of the most interesting stories that I've seen them put out, because there is definitely something going on in there.
Yeah,
So-
that was a pretty intense episode. I liked that episode.
Yeah, it was good. It was, and especially when I saw him in that, he was like right in the parlor area where he got almost knocked down, like knocked his legs off, from under him.
Yeah.
So, and that's right where that happened is right where my daughter ended up being sick.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, she was just a baby, so who knows, she might have been, I do feel like she's a sensitive, so.
Gotcha. I just put up on the screen a picture of the Whaley House out in San Diego. Got the chance to visit it when I was younger, and never got the chance to investigate it. Now, Renee, my sister, she had the opportunity to go on the walking ghost tour out there, and she got to investigate that night. Renee, I don't know if you had anything experience-wise, or do you want to talk about?
Well, we didn't get to go inside the Whaley House that night, but
Oh, okay.
just to the north of the Whaley House, the guy was talking about, there was a supposed portal. I don't know if it was a portal, but I mean, just you could just feel like your hair raising, the static electricity, and I didn't mention to him that I was an investigator until a little bit later, but he kind of picked up on, there was something going on with me, because he kept looking at me, and it was almost like he was freaking out about it. He's like, you attract them, huh? They follow you, huh? And I'm like, why do you say that? Trying to play it off. But we did get to go into in the graveyard, and I took pictures in the graveyard, and we actually caught something pretty interesting by the one of the headstones. It almost looks like a little boy that's like peeking around the corner, or a child peeking around the corner of the headstone, the top of the headstone. So that was pretty interesting, and we also got to
That would
investigate
be
the
really
hotel.
cool to see. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I still have that picture, actually.
It definitely has its own vibe, for sure.
It does. I mean, even
But-
just the history itself, it's really neat.
Now, the Whaley House was on Fact or Fake.
It did Fact or Fake. It's
Yeah.
also been on, I want to say, probably Ghost Adventures also, or Ghost
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely
Ghost Hunters.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've all been out there. It's a notorious
Popular
haunted
place.
Do what?
It's a popular place.
Oh yeah, definitely.
My parents went by
Yeah.
it.
Oh, I mean, even Ghost Hunters did Star of India one time, and I think Ghost Hunters did too. I mean, so the Star of India is the boat that's out there that's docked outside it's permanently docked there. So I've been on the boat. Once again, as before I was really into investigating and stuff like that, so I just got to experience it, and it does have odd feels around it because it's an old,
Oh, yeah.
ship. But yeah, it'd be nice to go and investigate it at night because, like you said, when you're alone and get a real feel for the place, I think you get a better appreciation of it.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah, and what's possibly there. But Did you ever
And,
get?
Well,
Go ahead,
you know,
sorry.
you like, yeah, in the bottom deck there where they keep like all the ropes.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like if you go down and you come down. I don't remember if you came down steps or what. But anyhow, when you come down, it would be on your left side in that corner of the chip. To me, I felt a lot of energy there. So, and I don't know if energy moves, if it's something you could still experience. In fact, we just had that conversation last night about, if something haunts something, how long does it actually stay? Are you gonna see a spirit from the 1800s, the 1500s, earlier than that? How long does our spiritual energy stick around before it just dissipates? Or does it ever? So,
Yeah.
I don't know. That was a good question.
Oh, that is a good question.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it really depends. I mean, in the U.S., you got to figure here now, most civilization is only 200 to 300 years old. So, but they still see possible King James over there, 650
True.
years old
True.
in England.
Right.
We just talked about that on the last podcast.
Yeah.
About Henry VIII.
But who knows? I mean, who truly knows? I mean, no one's ever proclaimed to see,
Yeah.
Jesus
I mean,
walking around.
I've gone to the Jesse James farmhouse.
Yeah.
Just toured it and stuff, and that's where he was when he was a kid and young.
Right.
But just walking into it, you get that feel and that vibe that there's so much history right there.
Well, and again, I still think people leave energies.
Yeah.
You say 100 people or 1,000 people a year go through that house.
Yeah.
And the energies they bring probably imprints a little bit
True.
into the property as well.
So, question to Janice: how do you feel about when people go to like a location? Like we're always talking about a reported haunting in a historical place or a home, but yet when we all go to a place, do you think you're going to be interacting with what's haunting the place, or you're interacting with something that you're bringing or that's connected to you?
Yeah, that's a good question because it's like a residual energy from other people or a residual energy from yourself.
Right.
I just saw that being discussed somewhere. I can't remember where it was, but that's a really good question because we just honestly don't know. But I will say that I had an experience at the Sally House, and that place, has been investigated by so many people, and everybody's like, Sally's not really a girl, and Sally's not really a little girl ghost, and it's demonic and all this kind of stuff. But what I was feeling, and I, not to sound cliche, but I feel that I'm empathic, and what I was feeling in that house was a lot of sadness. And what I was feeling also is that it is run over by so many people coming in and out of that building.
Right.
But I want to say that some of the best, I would say, paranormal experiences that I had, it was in that house. So, but like you say, it's one of those places like Villisca Axe Murder House and other places where people are just going constantly.
Right. Those are the two places I had in mind too that you brought up. Because Jake's here. He's been to Sally House.
I have.
I've driven by it. I've never been physically in it
Okay,
as
but
of
Jake-
yet.
Both of you
Jake's
guys have
been
on the
in.
outside
I
of
mean,
it.
yeah, there was no sign of any little girl or anything, but like you said, it feels sad there. It feels just heavy.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, we had, I had my night vision camera going, and I picked up something on the audio, and I have it on my page. And to me, it sounded almost like a cat, but it's really loud, and it's like right next to the, the speaker on the night vision camera. With two of us talking, and you could barely hear us, but then, you hear this sound. And I've played it or showed it over and over on the paranormal page, and people, are saying all sorts of things, that they they think it's saying. But so we had that experience there, and then I was heading up the stairs, and the upstairs was dark except for the night vision camera set up in the nursery, they call it. And as I was coming up the stairs, the bedroom on the right, would be on your very left. I swore I saw something move from that bedroom to the next bedroom. And I was heading up there to use the restroom, and I was like, got halfway up the stairs, and I was like, hell no. I just ran up the stairs and into the bathroom and shut the door. And it took me a couple of minutes to process, what I had seen. But that house, too, we'd all come in, and we were just going to come in and, drop all our equipment off and then come back and, go eat and then come back. So when we first got there, everybody smelled the scent of roses. And the gal that was showing us around, she said, we're not even, running any type of air fresheners or anything in this place. So that was really interesting. And then when we came back, and I've been there, 3 times, I think it is. Every single time we've gone, it was thunder and lightning every single time. So one particular time, we were all in the basement, and we were running a session, and my the guy that I had as an audio video tech at the time was running all this film, and he literally, I think it was lost an hour and 41 minutes. And at that time, I had it was a motion detector set up in the hole they call the portal to hell, and that went off. And then I had an app on my phone. It's that Echo Box. I can't remember the name of the guy that created it, but it started doing things that it's never done, and it was saying things that aren't even in the vocabulary. So it was just, but it all happened at one time. And as it was happening, the rain started coming into the basement. Everybody started pulling their, rolling their pant legs up and everything, because we're not stopping now. It just can fill up with water. We're not going anywhere. So I've actually not ever been disappointed in the Sally house. So
wow.
Well, I mean, truthfully, I believe it's haunted.
Right.
Again,
there's a lot of energy there for sure.
The stories behind it, they can't completely say yes, a girl named Sally died in the house. I mean,
no.
But there have been people that have died in the house, especially since the doctor
lived there,
was performing.
Yeah, I've got a documentary that I loaned Leo. We both watched it, and it's pretty good, but it kind of comes off more in the documentary. I think more demonic.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
But again...
Well, that could have had a lot to do with the Pickmans themselves, or the people who were currently, living there, as far as the level of the haunting,
Right.
I am a firm believer in that. The place has a lot of... I'm hesitant to use the word portal, but a lot of energy coming and going, and then it's going to feed off of...
Yeah, it's almost like it has layers.
Right, and then whoever's living there is going to feed off of whatever they're into, and if they were into that, then that's what they get. That's what it'll focus on.
So,
Right.
do you all believe
Another
that there's a
thing that was
portal
interesting-
in the basement?
What's that?
Say it
No, I
again.
think if there's a portal there, I think it's upstairs in the front bedroom.
That front left bedroom is where
Would be.
I haven't been in there, but that's when I sense.
That's where I had my strange sweating experience that I can't explain.
Yeah.
Has a built-in closet or built-in
more
It
heavy
was
shelves.
after I
Upstairs.
stepped out of the closet in that room.
Yeah.
I was just standing there for a second, and I felt strange. And my wife asked me, she's like, "What is wrong with you? Are you okay?" I said, I don't know. And I realized I was just pouring sweat. And it wasn't, oddly enough, it wasn't hot. It was also a stormy spring day, gray and storm, because remember, we did the Eldridge later that night.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
the streets were flooding and everything.
So what's with the storms and Sally house?
But yeah, I just stood there and I sweated pouring, dripping on the floor, crazy sweat for probably a minute, and then it just went away. It was really odd.
Now, Janice, you said you've been to the basement down there. Did you? I know they've painted over it several times. The pentagram on the floor. Did you see the pentagram or recognize any markings down there in the basement?
Janice?
Did we lose you?
Did we lose her?
Uh-oh.
I think we lost her.
Oh, I don't know what happened.
Is she still connected, Leo?
I'm checking right now.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh.
I lost for a minute.
Okay. We're like, oh, hello?
Yeah, I've got the worst cell phone service down
Oh,
here.
no.
Sorry.
And there's been times where I drop the calls. You know, it drops like at the half hour, an hour. I don't know why,
Dang.
but yeah, it's but I am in the sticks. I actually have an antenna for my phone called an air rave.
Oh yeah,
Has anyone ever heard of those?
I have.
My dad has one.
Yeah, otherwise, if I didn't have that, I wouldn't get any cell phone service.
Oh,
here.
wow.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I got my family lives down in Winfield, and down there between Winfield and Granola, there's some family down there. Yeah, you can't pick up a thing down there.
So what question did you guys have at the...
Yes. I was asking. So you've been down into the basement of the Sally house, and you know everybody talks about the pentagram that's basically burned into the floor. They painted over it, and of course it comes back through. Did you see any signs of the pentagram or candle use, large amounts of candle use on the walls or anything when you was in there?
No, in fact, actually, when we went, I don't know how many people get through there, but what they charge for an investigation there can be really pricey.
Yep.
So I don't know if it was they'd have that many people through there at that time. It's been quite a few years ago now that we had gone. But I didn't see, in fact, like where they say the pentagram is, I just kind of like saw this dark circle or something.
Yeah.
It didn't really look like a pentagram to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I've heard it look like. Just
so-
like a big dark smear.
Yeah, it's just a smear anymore. So they
Yeah.
painted over it.
And I was wrong on the bedrooms. The bedrooms are to the right of you when you go upstairs.
Yeah.
And then there's the bathroom, and then there's on the left is the little nursery area.
Yeah.
So, but I've shared video on, I think, my page of the Sally house, too. And what was interesting, in the bedroom, not the nursery, but the bedroom next to the bathroom,
Yeah.
which is the nursery is, too, but that room, I was standing in there, and I was doing some session, I can't remember, but all of a sudden, my finger was burning. And there's a picture of me on the Paranormal page, and I'm looking down at my finger because it literally ended up blistering.
Huh.
So that to me is not something nice,
Yeah.
That's not the little girl Sally. I don't.
No. So there's something in there that has the tendency to
Not
make
that
people
there is
hot
really
then,
a Sally.
which is really strange.
Well, again, if you go by the stories, the actual history that you can really dig up on it, that doctor was not a really nice person.
Right.
So if he's still part of the house, which no one's really, I don't know, really shot for that, but
What was it? Finney is his name.
Yeah, I think so.
I believe it is Finney, yes. And he had the tunnel that went out to his house through the basement, where they do have that one tunnel that's filled in the Sally house now, and the original house on the other side is gone, but yeah, so who knows? I mean, if it actually truly is him, or him mocking a child, trying to protect or pretend that he's a child to make it peaceful, who knows what he could be doing to people in there?
Yeah, I didn't know that there was a tunnel that had gone into there. I'd never heard of that.
Yeah, of course, Josh heard when he was able to locate some of that information, and then of course I went online, and of course when I hear something like that, because you read some or see some of the other series and they don't talk about it, then somebody else does. So I always do investigating. You can find the records on the tunnel to the original doctor's house. I guess he used to go back and forth, and his wife lived in the other one. He'd come back over here and practice, and of course practice other infidelity aspects too.
Well, don't worry, Janice. This is the first time I've heard about it too.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, I've never heard of the tunnel.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I have my team member. Two of my team members here in chat. One is Molly, witchcraft. It looks like witchcraft, but it's witchcraft.
I saw that.
And then the other one's Barbara Shoup.
Uh-huh.
She was in here.
Go back
The
up.
other team
I
member
thought I
in
saw her
chat is
name.
Barbara Shoup.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. Molly mentioned that room with because that's got the built-ins and then that little angled closet.
It's got
Yeah.
that weird area underneath the closet. It's just like a space.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't see Barbara on here. Maybe she was earlier.
I don't know where she went. If she's there or not. I see another lady in chat. Her name's Evelyn,
Uh-huh.
and she came all the way from San Diego or LA
Mm-hmm.
to investigate an event that we were investigating too. We were there for the event, but we did the Belver Winery.
Oh, yeah.
Have you
Yes.
guys been there?
We have not been there
Yeah,
yet,
it
but
was-
we plan on going, if we can.
I've
Have you
been.
been to Pinfian Castle?
No, that's on my list, too. I have all these places I want to go to.
I have actually.
I definitely
been
want
out-
that place for sure.
I've photographed the Belvoir before it was the Belvoir because, of course, it used to be the Oddfellows plantation,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the reason I went out there. But that's before anybody. Shoot, this was 15 years ago. Before it became a ghost. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
huge.
Is that
Yeah.
when you had hair?
That's when I had hair. Yes,
It was a cool chair, cool mullet.
it was a mullet at the time. I did have a mullet.
Dan had a sweet mullet, man. I've seen the pictures.
So,
But,
what
yeah.
did you experience at either one of those places that... I mean, I know it was for events that you attended.
Yeah, Pinfian Castle was interesting, and even though there was a lot of people, we were able to branch off,
Mm-hmm.
like my team members, and kind of do our own thing. And it was down in one of the rooms, and I thought, it was pretty interesting. And I know back in the day, everybody did those flashlight sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Now you get reamed for doing it. A lot of people are like, "That's not real paranormal," But
Just haven't seen me do
I
it
think
yet.
there's times,
With the
when
magic light.
we've tried that, and
Mhm.
if we could say it was just, it was just the battery causing heat and expanding and making the light go on. But then there's other times I think, this might really be something.
Right.
Because, if it's correlating with other things that you have running, or, if it
Yeah.
correlates with an EVP or something you
Mhm.
get on film, don't totally throw it out. I mean, they all can be used as tools.
Oh no, I'm a
I
big believer
believe
in the
so.
flashlight.
Yeah, we've used it a couple times in some of our investigations that we had.
Some-
We had a spirit box going right next to it. We had K2 millimeters, and they were all responding accordingly. And this possible soldier was turning it on and off,
Right.
on command, and he told us who he was. Through the spirit box that he was part of the Navy, and it was right next to a big display of uniforms from all the way from World War I up
Yeah.
to present time, and it's, to me, that gives a lot more credibility, just the fact that we're getting an interaction with it and it's on command.
It goes
And on
back to
video.
another night where it was super stormy.
Yeah, once again, like you said, it was
Yeah.
we had a lot of energy and
That
or a
was
lot
that
of
night because we had to run
energy
all
in
the
the air.
extension cords outside.
Yeah. We had
From
a
building to
nasty storm
building.
outside going on, and it was triggering accordingly. Now, I think that helped, heightened things for us that night as far as,
Oh, yeah.
the energy in the air and also the activity. But we were doing it actually during a Facebook live event we were doing.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just us, our word for it on camera. It was everybody who was watching that night got to tune in and see that too.
Of course,
So-
that was the same weekend we had the stuff happen with the barber. And then
Yes, same weekend.
sort of
Mhm.
inadvertently had more interaction with him out at the cemetery
Yeah.
um,
Yep.
later, which was
So yeah, I'm not.
You were saying it was,
Go sorry.
yeah. I was just going to say, someone was saying it was the Oddfellows home, and it was pretty interesting. I guess it was in one of the areas where there's the stage. Do any of you guys remember the stage that have been there?
In the Belvoir?
It had. No, this was at the Pinfian Castle.
Oh, Pinfian. No.
No.
Yeah, we were there. We were with oh my gosh, what's the guy that does the Haunted Collector?
John
Zaffis.
Zaffis. Yep.
John Zaffis.
Mhm.
So he was doing one of those, what is it, the old ghost box sessions, the hacks, what are they? And he was doing a session, and I had a guy on the team at the time, and he walked with a cane, and he was retired military. So it was interesting. It seemed like what we were getting was actually talking to this particular team member, and something about, we're asking questions about being shot, and we were getting replies through this ghost box. So I gotta say, every time I've been to the Pentian Castle, it was never a letdown. So, and that's even during an event, because normally I tell people you're not going to get a whole lot. Don't expect to really get a whole lot if you're on an event, because you just got too many people.
Yep.
Because like at the Belvedere Winery, we were walking through one of the buildings, and we were trying to do, EVP sessions, but everybody's walking across the, all the broken glass, and, people are whispering, and it's like, oh, forget it. We're not going to get it. Let's just enjoy the experience.
Right.
So,
yep.
You don't want to make yourself crazy. Just have a good time.
That's the troubles of public events.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
You've been...
At the Belvedere Winery, they fed us and they gave us booze.
Oh, yeah, so you can't go wrong there.
So you were definitely seeing spirits that night, huh?
Well, what's funny about that is because I had posted that on Facebook at one point in time, and next thing you know, we're getting like hate messages. You guys shouldn't be drinking and investigating, and it's like,
Oh, jeez.
and they quit the booze at like 4 o'clock. You didn't investigate until 8. I think everybody had ample enough time to like sober up,
Right.
So,
Shoot, we've been invited to do events out in Dodge City at the Boot Hill Museum where they serve booze to all the guests, and we're all kind of like, crap.
That went okay one time and not so great the other.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of hit and miss. We did the Booze and Brews.
It was a good time for us both times. Though.
Yes, and then we did
That's where we got one of our good pictures.
Yes.
And,
but then we also
that
did.
Kid on my team got called a douchebag over the spirit box,
Yes,
which was
that's
really
very
crazy.
true.
And then he left.
Yep. Good old spirit having a good time.
Yeah.
Right.
But we also did the Booze and Brews out in Wamego.
Right.
There at the Columbian and the Oz Museum and stuff. We helped out 2019 on that one. It was okay, you get a lot of guests liquored up and they end up not really paying attention, or they become really flirty with some people.
Happy to have Dan around.
Yeah.
Well, we've also done the one at Serendipity in Topeka.
Yeah.
The day before, and that turned out to be fantastic.
Extracurricular artwork going on upstairs.
Well, we did 2 of those, a couple of those,
Yeah.
but those, sometimes the guests seem a little bit more relaxed, but they're also a little bit.
It's hard to
depends their state of intoxication. They're either really relaxed or they're about ready to pass out. It seems like it can go many different ways, and you never know what you're going to get. Especially when you're trying to show them a good time as far as investigation and stuff like that side of things. But then they're either some of them are really with it, or some of them, like I said, are just kind of sitting back, nodding out. So.
Sometimes people really surprise you. Like the night you guys stuck me with the whole group of old ladies, and it turns out that they were troopers, man. They went all night long. They climbed all the stairs. They stayed until all the rounds were over, and we were just kind of hanging out doing whatever we wanted to. And I was like, man, half of you guys' people have already gone home, and the combined age of my group is like 1,020 or something like that. And we're all still here. Sometimes people will surprise you.
So, Janice,
have any of you guys been to Waverly?
Oh God, I want to.
No.
I've heard good things.
It's one of those ones I'd like to go, but it's the same token. Like I said, because of all the shows that have been there, glorified it. The price is a little too steep sometimes.
We almost did the Missouri State Penitentiary, but the night before we were to go and investigate it, the tornado hit it and knocked down the wall or the roof.
So it's like a clear-cut sign you're not supposed to be there. Go ahead, sorry.
We've been to we've been to the penitentiary, and I have some videos on our very little YouTube channel. so that's where they went. I think it's like a 3-part on the Missouri State.
Yeah.
And that was really interesting. And then I was going to say, Waverly Hills. I don't care, for me personally, I don't care how many different TV shows, whatever gets in there.
Mm-hmm.
That place is massive.
Oh, yeah.
And so if you think you're going to go in and, like, set up equipment or wires or whatever, you're going to, like, have a, sad thing coming to you.
Oh,
so
I bet.
basically what I did was I ran around in the dark and tried to stay, cause there was, like, a group of us, but there was not a big group. It was a very small event.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would just jump from session to session, from floor to floor. But I feel like I walked about 60 miles that night. The place is so massive.
Mm-hmm.
I just stood in the dark, and it was just like you could just feel the energy in that place. But after I came away from that, I have like this big, huge, painted like photo on my wall, and I've got Waverly jewelry and Waverly this and Waverly that. That place gets in your head.
Oh, I bet.
So if you can ever get in there, it would be
I would love to.
worth it. I mean, those
Yeah.
TV shows don't even cover it. Really,
Well, they all go to this.
the amount of things.
They always go to the same
Yeah.
parts, with the child with the ball. They always do that. They always go to
Yeah.
the nurse
Go find
up
the
on
creeper.
3, and
The
they also
body
go
shoot.
to.
Go
So-
find the creeper up on like the 4th
Oh
floor.
yeah.
So, question: how many days do you think would be, in a legit way, if you could possibly? How many days do you think it would be necessary to investigate Waverly, to appropriately investigate it?
I would stay at least, if you could, at least 3 days.
That's yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
It was an experience.
Locked in?
I think we
I'll
went
sleep
in there.
there.
I think it
I'll
was
stay
like
there
6
for 3
o'clock,
days.
and we were there till 3. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 o'clock.
Yeah.
and that death tunnel was really interesting too. The death.
That's what I want to go check out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always wanted to see that for
Yeah.
sure.
Can I ask how much you paid just to go there?
It was an event. It was a small event with Randy Hardy.
Uh-huh.
He's out of NOLA. He's
Mm-hmm.
he was with, what was it, that Deep South Paranormal.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It was a
Yeah.
show that was on TV for a minute.
Mhm.
He was basically our celebrity. It was just one person.
Hmm.
And so the total of the group, of the event, I would say there was probably about 35 people. So, and with 35 people, as big as that place is, like I said, I can't lose, but I'd lose people on purpose. That's the way I do it. Yeah. Like later, I gotta go find the bathroom, and I'm not going to find the bathroom. I just said I was going.
I don't blame you. I would do the same thing.
You do the same thing.
I do.
You always disappear and end
I'm
up
sorry.
somewhere else.
Yeah.
I can
We're
honestly
on the
say I
same
never-
wavelength
I
there,
was gonna say, I can
Janice.
honestly say I never wandered off by myself. Have I ever?
Well,
Yes, you have.
I know.
You've left me
That's why I say
behind,
that. And I had some of the best activity, like you said, by yourself, because it was more genuine because you're by
But you
yourself.
left me standing in front of the guests.
I know.
talking
During the
out of
public
my
investigation.
butt.
I know.
When the equipment's not wanting to work, with the thunderstorm coming through, and you're
Yeah.
like off having fun and having the most amazing.
It wasn't
Stuff
intentional per se. I just happened
Yes,
to just
it
take. We were on a break, and I just happened to walk off, and
You walked off.
then
on
I got
purpose.
trapped out with slamming doors and everything else between there. So
I remember that.
it was
night.
fun and worth it. Once again, it was live on YouTube or on Facebook, so everybody got to experience it with me. So
So Janice, can you tell us about your team and everything? Tell us about where you feel you're going and everything with your team.
That one thing about with the team, it kind of be an ongoing thing when it comes to team members. It has been over the years. We have changed out a lot of people.
We
A
know
lot
that.
of people come on and they just do it for a little while and then they get bored with it. And so when it comes to a team, I would say 6 that have stayed with me through the years.
yeah,
But I've seen way more than I couldn't even count the number of people we've lost. and lost or just left. But where we're going with it is we have focused a lot on residential cases, and we're still, very much active when it comes to that. But that's not something we ever share on Facebook, and
Right.
It's always behind the scenes. So, in fact, I've been working on a couple of different cases, and we're also part of the Ed and Lorraine Warren Legacy Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
So we work together with them, and then if
Cool.
there is somebody that we feel needs to be referred that way, it goes to Chris, Christopher McKenna, the grandson, and Catherine Sorensen. They'll do like the initial interviews, and then all the cases and everything are shared, where you can go into the app and then see all the case files, because when they interview everybody, it's done on Zoom. So I've actually got one case that's still open that I had brought to them, but sometimes they can bring cases to me. So, but that part hasn't happened yet. I just hit my second year with them, with the Warren Legacy Foundation. So I think we're getting just more where we're not running around, you know what I'm saying, to events and different locations. We've slowed it down to really do the work. You know what I'm saying? Because when we first got in there, we were running around all the different events and everything. And now it's kind of evolved into where we're doing more of the private thing. So, because I don't suggest anybody take up private cases when they first come out the gate.
Yeah, that gets hard and complicated and stuff for people.
Well, and you don't want to tell people the wrong thing,
Yeah.
Right.
You got to be careful. Interstate home investigations, and we've had people come to us and say, we had so-and-so team come out to our place, and they never got back with us. I mean, we've done, and we do investigations where we actually stay in contact with people sometimes for years. And so, if you're just wanting to go, investigate something, don't go using someone's home.
Right.
So
Exactly.
100%. Yeah, I agree
gotta
with
be
you.
careful what you're doing, especially there.
Yeah. I mean, Leo and I have been investigating together private homes and stuff since 2010 together.
Right.
And, well, you say 2011. I say 2010.
And Renee has been with us just as long too.
I know.
But
And Renee,
Yeah.
she's been in Dodge City the entire time. Leo lives out here with us. But yeah, Renee's been doing it just as long as we have. And it's, I mean, going to somebody's house and telling them what's going on and trying to help them emotionally and everything, it gets hard sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of funny because I got away from that for a long time, where we just did see events and different locations. But now we've kind of gone back to that again.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling that part of that is because so many people have been locked away in their homes lately.
Yeah.
Right.
We're seeing stuff we don't normally see. I don't know.
I think it's definitely given people more time than they normally have to stop and listen and see than they normally.
That, and they just want to have fun.
Yeah.
They want to go have fun at events and stuff and get out and do stuff, which I don't blame them. I'm ready to do all the events that we had to cancel last year and been rescheduled for this year. So hopefully that still happens. And out in Dodge City, we're in negotiations to do a major event out there. So we're hopefully going to be announcing that soon, which is going to involve many other aspects of the paranormal with teams and stuff like that. So hopefully it's hopefully this is going to be a good year.
I've always wanted to go.
Sorry, what was that?
She said Dodge City's a place she's always wanted to go.
Well, shoot,
Yeah,
let's set something up. I can do that.
Yeah, we can set you up and
Absolutely.
have you join us out there.
It's an amazing place. It's Leo and Renee's hometown, and it's honestly, Dodge City has become my home away from home.
Yeah.
As many times in many for all the years that I've been going out there doing events with the team and stuff. It's such a great place, and I love the history in the Old West. So
it doesn't disappoint for sure.
Yeah. Not to mention
Have you guys been down?
Go ahead.
Down this way for any investigations?
Where are you actually at officially?
Southeast corner of Kansas. 12 miles.
Like
about
what?
12 miles south of Chanute,
Okay.
Kansas.
Yes, a few times.
I've been
South
through
of
there.
East.
I've investigated Fort Scott. I've investigated in Pittsburgh
Yeah.
before the team, but yes.
I went down southeast Kansas to a town that had Sasquatch issues, the entire town, and Brendan, myself, and my dad went down there, and we investigated all night.
Yeah.
With claims of Sasquatch within the town. So
Well,
it wasn't for ghosts or anything. It was for Bigfoot.
We also got closer. I mean, we did Granola, which is closer to that way, but not all the way down that far. But yeah, we've been out in a couple other locations, a little further north there, but
We did Galena as well, right?
no.
No.
No?
So, what about you? Have you come this far northwest to Wichita and the surrounding areas?
I don't think we have.
Gotcha. Yeah, Wichita's about. Go ahead. Sorry.
You know, we've had cases in Pittsburgh and I think Elk Falls and Neosho, the town or whatever, not the county.
Sure.
And we've been all over the place.
I've always wanted to do the old hospital in Parsons. Have you guys done that one?
I haven't.
It'll be on
did
Amazon Prime.
An old hospital in Neosho, though.
Oh, okay.
In fact, my friend lived in the hospital.
Oh wow.
That's awesome.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and he has connected to the hospital is a nursing home, and he tells me I can come run around in there anytime I want. So,
Oh, wow.
you know,
That's awesome.
yeah, like right now it's really cold and there's broken windows and everything else. So we did actually hold a little event there one time, and I think we invited probably about, I think maybe there was 12 or 13 people, and that went really well. But yeah, it's just empty. It's just sitting there. Needs ghost hunters or investigators or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Well, Janice, you're pretty close to a location that I've been to a couple of times, and I call BS on the amount of activity they claim. Have you been to the Crescent?
I haven't.
You haven't? Okay.
No.
In Arkansas, Eureka Springs?
Yeah,
You call
Eureka
BS
Springs.
on the activity there?
It's not as heavy as they claim. I don't believe. I mean, there's a lot of activity there.
What's the other one in town there?
The one I went to,
Yeah.
oh God, the Palace Hotel.
The Palace.
Yeah.
That's the one where you're standing by the locker?
No,
that's
the
at the
Crescent.
Crescent.
That's the Crescent.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, the locker was the famous thing from Ghost Hunters.
Ghost Hunters.
That they pass by with the thermal, and there's a guy
Standing
almost
there.
looks like a Civil War soldier standing in front of the locker.
Yeah.
But no, the Palace is a place. Hopefully, in
We
due
got an
time,
open
we
invitation.
pick
We
up.
need to get over there.
Yeah.
No, so
Have you
okay.
guys ever been into the Browns Mansion?
Brown's
Here,
Mansion.
it's in Coffeeville.
No, I
No.
want to.
Well-
No, I emailed them about going there, and they did not seem interested.
Well, that's mainly because, which is a whole nother topic I'd love to talk to you about, Janice, because of other teams that have ruined the chances for other teams to get in.
Well, I can get you guys in there.
Really?
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
I love that area.
But right now she was trying to get through Christmas and then get all the decorations, up and then get all the decorations down. And now she's trying to get through Valentine's Day is the next big one.
Oh, yeah.
But then after that, I'm supposed to get with her about setting it up. I think there are a couple of bad experiences that she had.
Yeah.
But, you know, when it comes to, I can set it up, is what I'm saying.
Excellent.
Okay.
Instead of getting into a bunch of detail.
Sure.
That would be cool. I've always
Or
wanted to do the
name.
I've always wanted to do the Dalton Gig Museum out there too, or the
Yeah.
alleyway. You know, I always
Yeah.
thought that'd be something cool with the Old West stuff.
I didn't
Yeah, they
realize.
just spent a lot of money on getting that, all the renovations and that, and
Yeah,
getting
okay.
it done.
Yeah.
I didn't realize there was a Dalton Gang Museum until after I passed through there.
Yeah, it's
Oh
on
yeah,
the
the
Yeah.
alleyway and
It's on the
everything is
corner
still
from
there.
the actual
Yeah.
location, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I had taken pictures when you guys were out on a case,
Yeah.
on a public investigation. I was driving the opposite way, and I went through there and took pictures of all that. And I saw the museum and everything.
Well, we would be
What's cool
appreciative.
about that is you can walk through Death Alley
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and see, you know, they've got it like outlined in paint where, you know,
right.
individual side.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I took pictures of all that too on the side of the bank and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome looking. Yeah, I would love to find out if anything was there. The opposite way out in Meade, Kansas. I went to the Dalton Gang hideout and the tunnels out there from the farmhouse to the barn area they had, where that's a kind of a cool experience. I tried to get us in there too, and the guy, once again, the same thing where a team had come through there previously and kind of just talked down on the place, basically saying, "Oh, there's nothing paranormal here," blah 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 blah, you know, kind of a thing. And so it kind of soured the taste of letting teams in there. But I would love to go out there, out in Southwest Kansas, and also do the same thing and see what, you know. Would be interesting is to do a joint effort.
It would be at
Like-
both places.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
so say you're down there closer to Coffeyville and you're live there, and we'll be live at the tunnels and see if we can't make some kind of
Yeah,
portal connection or something,
Yeah.
spiritual connection with the two places.
that would be a
That'd be
cool
kinda
experiment to
interesting.
do.
So something to think about, Janice.
I'm already
Yeah.
sending her messages on her phone that she's going to read later.
Yeah.
I actually see it right now.
So hey Janice, so, okay, I'm pretty familiar with that area down there. Have you ever been over to the Safari Marks Bar and Hotel in Sedan?
I emailed them
No, I
too, but
haven't.
they didn't get back to me.
Well, they've closed down and reopened, but it's supposedly pretty haunted, especially the second floor, which is
Yeah.
not. They're trying to restore it the last few years. They haven't been able to get the funding, but yeah, it's downtown Sedan. So if you ever come in that area, and it's a really cool place. I've been trying to get over there a few months, or actually a couple of years, but yeah,
Yeah.
Very
something
cool.
to look at.
Yeah. So in all the years of your investigating and whatnot, this is kind of a two-part question. Who is somebody that's well known? I know you've met quite a few people along the way. You mentioned John Zapsis and of course Daryl Marston. Who is somebody that you've had the pleasure of investigating that you just absolutely is kind of on your bucket list, and who's somebody who you haven't met yet that you would love to investigate with?
There's been so many.
Right. That's a good thing to have. That's a good problem to have.
Well, I'll tell you one group that we got to investigate with, and one of the guys in the chat was with me at the time, Douglas T. Martin.
Mm-hmm.
We got to go and investigate with the Ghost Brothers.
Oh, very cool. Right on.
It was pretty fun, and it was pretty cold. In fact, they weren't even expecting the weather to be that cold.
Oh, no.
But I would have to say one of my that I've watched for a long time was John Zappas.
Yeah.
And
Same here.
So, somebody that I would like to investigate with, I don't know, actually. There's some of them, would be like people that I know personally, like one of the gals, Catherine, that does all the intakes and everything for the Warren Legacy Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
She's like kind of a bucket list person, but she's just another person like you and me, and another investigator, and really all of them are, except, they've got a TV program or whatever.
Sure.
But she's in Scotland. So that is kind of I would love to go see her and
Yes.
investigate with her.
Especially over in Scotland and the castles and
there's
everything.
so much history over
yeah,
there.
yes, I would love to also.
Castles and all that.
That's definitely one of my bucket list. Yeah.
Somebody just put Josh Gates. Yes.
Yes, of
Josh
course.
Gates.
Yeah, for
Yes.
sure.
Yes.
That's
We were
definitely
just
our
commenting on that,
one of our
actually.
guys. Yeah,
Oh
we'd
my
love to go
God, that's like my
investigate.
I
hero.
forgot about Josh.
Yes. He just might be a fun guy to hang around with.
Yeah, Jack Osborne too. He'd be
Yeah.
fun.
That's
So,
what
yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
Jack
he
would
would
be
be cool.
fun.
I think he's definitely added an interesting twist to the paranormal over the years. Because when he first started doing it, I'm like, okay, is he doing it because he's, Ozzy's son? Is he really into this? And sure enough, he takes it serious. and he
Wait.
takes it. What?
What about Stormy Daniels?
Yeah.
No.
Hey,
kidding.
as long as she
Just
doesn't,
kidding.
as long as she,
Paranormal porn stars.
I was like, as long as she takes it serious, I don't care
Yeah.
what your background is, who you
I
are,
know,
or whatever.
I know.
I mean, don't sully the name, as far as what we do, as far as ghost hunters and stuff like that. I mean, as long as you're taking it serious and
Yeah, and I
doing it
think
justice.
he's actually taking it very professional.
Yes.
I've, a good friend of mine, David Childers, is
Hmm.
going along with the whole ride with her, getting her, just he's part of her whole spooky babes and all that.
Hmm.
And I've been actually following them and watching them, and I think they're doing a good job.
Yeah. And I saw them on a couple of shows. I've seen them with one of our friends, Josh Hurd, when they did the G Crew, when they talked to her, and also she went out to a location here in the I'm gonna draw the blank. The 18, what's it called? The McIntyre.
Yeah.
She got to investigate live there also too with a good buddy, a friend of ours, Stephanie, and who owns the place, her and her husband. So I mean, they welcomed her with open arms. So I trust their judgment. I feel like like you said, she's doing it for the right reasons, not just because of who she is or hey, let me try something new kind of a thing. But it's just the timing of it couldn't have been for her. I mean, she just got out of that big to do with the whole Trump thing. But
But she's got a bus now. She can go on road trips.
There you
She's got
go.
a bus now. She can go on road trips. She's got the bucks in her pocket to go have some fun. And,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Bus.
I'd probably be doing
Instead
the
of
same
the
thing.
train.
Yeah,
why not?
I think
Somebody
we'd all be
prison.
doing the same
I
thing.
mean-
Yeah, honestly.
I mean, capital. Who would turn Stormy? I mean, there's somebody might, but who would turn her down and say, "No, you can't come investigate with us or be on our show or whatever"? I mean,
Right.
come on,
Right.
that's good press for them too. And I mean, like I said, you get to meet a one-off chance, possibly. Interacting with somebody who brings a different
You
twist.
guys want to get
it.
her on?
Hell yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Talk to David Childers.
Okay.
He can work it out for you. You guys have David?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll reach out to him. Yep.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, I see, and we take all comers. We don't. I mean, that's why we love networking with other like-minded people and those that are not like us. Because we can't all agree on everything. It's fun to have different aspects. We've done everything from UFOs to Bigfoot to paranormal, of course. On this show, we do conspiracy theories with JFK and everything else. And just other things. We're an open forum basically. It doesn't have to be just paranormal.
Some of the funnest people on the events are the skeptics that show
Yeah.
up for one reason
Yeah.
or another.
Definitely. Yep. So, yeah, we welcome all walks of life basically. Nothing. There's no topic off the table on our show. So, yeah, definitely. I'll reach out to David.
Well, I got a ton of people I could send your way for.
Yes.
Yes.
Please do.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yes.
Please do. And we definitely need to have you back on because I know Gail wants to come on with you too. Gail Fontenot from the one you referred to us down from New Orleans.
Gail.
Yeah, Gail.
Nola.
Yeah, Gail Fontenot.
Gail
Sorry.
I miss Nola.
Gail is actually I found her in the dark at Waverly.
Yes, she told me that.
Yeah, we
Wow.
just bumped into each other.
Yep.
It's
So.
really funny because she's really tall,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm only 4'11",
Oh.
so we made like
Oh,
a
geez.
really funny pair.
Oh,
Hey,
that's like me. That's like
somebody
me.
I'm finally
We have a
taller
couple
than.
people in common with you, so.
Jesus.
Well, I get into places most people have to duck, and I don't have to duck.
Exactly.
Hey, that's
I
Jason.
know your feeling.
Yes, Renee and Jason can attest to that. We were at a location in Dodge City. It's called the Dodge Theater, and Jason, who was shorter, of course, was walking straight through underneath
all the piping
background
and stuff.
by the stage, and he's just walking straight through. Renee doesn't see it, and she walks head first into a beam and knocks herself out. So yes, so like you said, there's privileges to everything.
I had a goose egg, and we were filming, so that was fun.
Renee's she's suffering a concussion, and Jason's just walking along. Nothing never happened. So.
I have no shame. I don't,
yeah. That's awesome.
Funny.
Yep. So.
It's funny, but not funny.
Right.
He thought he was tall and big by then.
What sucks is I still remember the sound of her head hitting.
Oh, it was solid. Yeah. It made a twangy sound.
I don't know.
Right now, and I wasn't even there.
Right.
She's still with us today.
But no, Gail mentioned that she would love to come on the show with you sometime, and we'd love to have both of you back on. Gail's been on our show a couple times since then, and she's a fun gal to have on. She's fun to talk to because she's just another vat of knowledge basically, and just some of the stuff she hits on amazes me.
Yeah, she's good. She is very intuitive, psychic, whatever you want to call it.
Definitely.
So what's your take? What's your take on mediums and like the powers they have, the remote viewings or anything like that? What's your take on it?
There are some out there that I believe are really gifted, and then there's other ones that I just sit and kind of shake my head out. But I'm very intuitive myself, and I actually, when I'm around people, especially if somebody's sick, I can usually sense that, or actually have, like, if you want to call it, like a premonition of what's going to happen. So, and I believe the more you use it, the more it develops.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't totally put that out of the realm of using. I will use it, and I will use certain people. There are certain people in the paranormal field that I go to.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It's like everybody these days is a psychic. Everybody's a witch. Everybody's an empath.
We're laughing because that's what we always say too.
Well, what I hate is when people are told, like, they meet a team full of investigators, and they're told, I think you have the gift. You might be an empath. And then that person, runs with it.
Oh, yeah.
And
exactly.
The next thing you know, that person is like, I'm an empath. And they're just going around, I can feel this, I can feel that. And they're giving everybody else answers.
Yeah.
I'm like, but just 2 days ago, you were just somebody who was clueless and had no idea.
Now you're a wizard.
And now you're a wizard. And so, and it's aggravating because every time and we've had people, even on the team that have called other people empaths and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, just stop.
Right.
Just stop doing that. Please.
We always talk about it, and I've mentioned this, and I've talked to other psychic mediums that feel the same way. Not all of them, but I feel like everybody has the capability to do so. A lot of them just are not in tune with their inner self, basically.
I'm definitely not in tune. You know that.
So, but I mean, but like I said, some of us do have that capability, some of us don't, and it's just, I feel like if you have to advertise, unless you're well known already, if you have to advertise it at a location or an event, it's just sometimes it's just not necessarily an event, but just in general, if you need all attention on you in the moment, it's how much of it's true.
What I found is the worst in an event is you'll have a random person say, well,
yes,
I'm an empath. And then all of a sudden, everybody that's there, that was there for your event,
right,
wants to go follow them around.
They assume everything they're going to say, and
because that's
it's true, or fact. That's the downside of it. Yeah, and that's kind of what I was meaning. I don't mean if you're on a public investigation and they say we have featuring medium blah blah blah.
Right.
They're not true. That's not what I was talking about.
Yeah.
I was saying what Jake was saying basically.
Yeah. So Janice, how do you feel when you go to somebody's house and they've got a lot of claims? They have and it sounds fantastic and just outrageous, so you're like, okay, I can't wait to get in there. But then that person says immediately, like as you're interviewing them and looking around, that they're an empath and they're actually, a medium themselves. Like, where do you go from that point?
Well, I'll tell you, when it comes to going into people's homes, I'm probably one of the biggest skeptics when it comes to interviewing people, because I have had too many times where people just burn you because what they want is a paranormal investigation. They want to be entertained for the evening.
Right.
So if you come to me, we put you through a whole host of questions.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have somebody even possibly call you and interview you. We will stick with you for months. And a lot of times after that, it drops. And so that too shows to me right there, it wasn't ever anything that was serious in the first place. We just had that happen to us. In fact, the girl was coming to me with a ton of claims, and it just wasn't feeling right to me. So she couldn't get to me anymore. So what she did was she came to me through her boyfriend's messenger.
Mm-hmm.
So I had Barbara, who I have doing my intakes. She called her and talked to her, and then she came back with the information, and then I said, something's not feeling right about this. There's something fishy about this. And sure enough, I did a little bit of investigating, which we do,
Mm-hmm.
and found out that that's exactly what she was doing. She was trying to be tricky and go through her boyfriend. So we're real careful about how and when we go about going into somebody's home.
Yeah.
So, and the longer that you do this, you kind of learn that, the ones that are really needing it, and then the ones that are just wanting ghost hunters in their house.
They just want attention. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we do a similar process where we interview them. We used to do the same thing with a series of questions. We have a couple guys go out, or girls go out together and interview them, or call them on the phone and go through a pre-interview kind of a thing. And even then, sometimes we've gone to a couple places that seem a little too convenient, I guess we'll say, where you look on their shelves, they have all the horror movies, they have all the ghosts. They talk about, I watched Ghost Adventures, and I think they started throwing out some terms that just seem too polished. It's like, if you're truly, needing help, you wouldn't know, I think it's, a residual haunting possibly, or it's, just things that, they're not your every common day terms to the amateur.
That's the problem with all these TV shows out now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is so many people, and then like when they come to you, they have all the lingo too.
Right.
All the words.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they bring out their own equipment. I tried a spirits box session, and it's like, wait a minute,
it's
what?
Always the phone apps. It's always the phone apps.
Yeah. So it's just like, okay, then what are you getting out of this? What do you need?
Many come to me and say, we played with the Ouija board. I don't know why this is happening to us.
Why did it get worse?
Yep, that's exactly why. Yeah, but then there was. Go ahead, sorry.
I was just going to say, and I've had it so much with the Ouija board thing and I hope that person's not watching. But the last person that said that, I said, "Oh crap, not the Ouija board," and I think I put it all in like big letters. And she's like, "What?" So my frustration was showing through. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Well, it's one thing to use one, but it's just to use one properly. I mean, there's a proper manner to use it. If you're going to ever use one, which you probably shouldn't, because you're going to open something or ask for something you probably don't understand.
Same with Spirit Box too.
Well, yeah, and that's everything. Even just asking simple questions.
Everything.
Yeah, we feel like the Spirit Box, or even a digital recorder, can do the same effect in essence. If you don't know how to properly start it, end it, kind of a session thing, or you may be getting more than you can, you bite off more than you can chew, basically. To be so cliche.
Yeah, and speaking of voice recorders, I had just did an interview with a fellow from the radio station, The Dog. They just started podcast, and he's like, "Can you do a paranormal, spot with me?" And so that is one thing I brought up to him, was that kind of old school in regards. I have a lot of equipment and different equipment, But when it comes down to audio and video, those are two things you can't go wrong with.
Right.
Right.
You know, so.
Yeah, especially audio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, we just did one on Halloween, and we've got a pretty good EVP on the voice recorder. I had asked how many people were there, and there was actually 4 people in another building, and then 3 people in the building I was in, and it said 7. You know, and so how do you say that's not real? You know, you heard that it's right there on a voice recorder.
Yep.
So it's not just spewing words out like, you know, the SB7, which I do like my SB7.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't. You know, a lot of people have their own ideas of what you should use and what you shouldn't.
Of course.
I think you just get used to what you use and get good with it and just do your own thing.
Yep.
The heck with what other people.
Yeah. You bet.
I mean, video is amazing if you're pointed in the right direction at the right time. Otherwise, it's going to be either word of mouth experience or, you know, your audio recorder is going to be your best friend where it's going to capture everything.
And it's funny that you say that because I had a video we put up on YouTube, and we were at the Browns mansion, and we left the night vision camera running, but we didn't have it at night vision. We had the lights on up there, and I had everybody leave that floor just so nobody could contaminate it. And so we actually were playing the video on the YouTube channel, and somebody came to us from the YouTube channel and said, "Did you see so and so? You know, this in this particular frame." We hadn't even seen it after we put it up. So now that clip is on the YouTube channel, and something is actually moving through.
Oh wow!
It's really bizarre looking. So. Yeah, so even sometimes when you put your own stuff up there, you don't see it all.
Right.
Is the point I'm making.
Oh, yes.
That's one thing I like about going over old evidence. It's like, I didn't even see that was there.
Yep.
And that was kind of like at the old Neosho Hospital. I had, I was running the voice recorder, and I have the gauze meter, the gray one, the ones that aren't that expensive. But that thing seems to go off a lot of times when there's like negativity around, and I had to go off in Telva, Kansas. It's now burned down. It was the old haunted asylum, and it went off this really creepy way, and it also did that at Missouri State Penitentiary down in the dungeon. And then, so this thing was going off, and it was doing it on a wooden stuffed chair, and there was no electricity on that floor. So, and then right after that, you hear a voice saying Ashley, and it's like Ashley. And that was the name of the guy that was doing all the renovations on the place.
Oh wow!
So,
nice,
very cool.
So,
yeah,
and that's on the Paranormal Police too. So
we have a couple of viewers asking.
We got all that stuff.
I was like, what's your YouTube channel? I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry. Do you have a name or?
Now, I don't know if it's either we got it up there, Neosho County Paranormal Investigators, or NCPI.
Okay.
It had issues at one time with somebody that I had running it, and we lost a lot of stuff. So my son put everything back on there for me because I'm not tech savvy. So, but a lot of videos too are on the paranormal page, but nobody ever goes and looks at them, so that's okay. I know they're there. So, but I've gotten some, and like I tell the team members, we walk away with one thing, we feel successful, So.
Sure. Definitely.
Right.
Yeah, the one EVP where it said 7, I was like jumping up and down. I was so happy. We got it, finally. Because that is a place we go to all the time, so.
You bet.
And, yeah, it's our do-over.
We got
like
a couple
every other
of
month.
Oh, sorry.
What other questions do you have for Leo?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I'm trying to find the page for them. I was going to put the link
the
up
YouTube
in the
page?
YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead and ask if you have anything.
What do you guys have?
While I get to the
We're
page.
kind of winding down to our 2 hours.
When you lived in San Diego, did you ever do anything at the Hotel Del Coronado? That's a place I've always wanted to go that I've heard is haunted.
Yeah, me too.
It's a cool place.
No,
Yeah.
it's not. I've never have. You know, I've been to Coronado Beach and you know to that old that hotel, and it's beautiful. But
Right.
I mean,
There's
like,
a story about the lady jumping out the window or something like that there.
yeah, and then they like are supposed to like see her spirit walking on the beach.
Right.
I think they say.
Yep.
But I'll tell you back then, because like I said, I've been in Kansas 15 years now. But nothing was like being talked about that, you know. There was no TV shows or anything, so I didn't really know that history about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just know it's a beautiful place.
It is.
It is. We've been there. I've been there. I
I've
actually
been there
swim off that
once.
beach.
Yeah.
It's off a place called Silver Strand
Yep.
on Coronado Island. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that beach is amazing. That's where it's kind of private, where it's not really private, but it kind of is. It's not your typical beach.
Yeah.
So, and the sands just feels amazing. It's well
that's
kept.
That's where.
Land is close to the Tijuana border.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
where my wife grew up because she was in. Her dad was in the Navy, so they lived out there on Coronado
Yeah.
Island.
Oh,
On the
wow.
See,
space
so was
island.
my
Oh,
dad.
that's
Yeah, my
cool.
dad was on the Navy
Yeah.
out there
So
too.
where
That's
she
why
grew
we
up.
always
They
go back.
went to
And,
Tijuana a lot. She said back when you
Vacation.
didn't need a passport, you could just walk across.
yeah.
Walk over there.
But yeah, I got to go in the hotel itself, and it's just outside of it looks amazing because it's just all a big white
Yeah.
building with these red caps,
Yeah.
roofs,
Huge.
and it's
Yeah,
just
it's
gigantic
like
on
old
a
school looking
yeah. And it's just
kind of vista.
there's an underground kind of a mall on the underground like little shops area down
Is there?
below there.
I didn't
then
actually go
it's just-
inside.
oh
it,
really?
but-
Yeah, it's pretty neat to check out if you can just even go tour it.
So apparently I need to travel more.
Yes, you do.
Right.
I haven't been out there.
Yes, Jason.
I haven't been out there probably 15, 20 years myself either. To San Diego, I obviously got to go to L.A. recently a couple
Yeah.
times, but yeah, no, not San Diego. It's
Well,
been
if
a
you
while.
guys ever want to do a road trip too, you might check out the Haunted Hill House in Kansas. Or Kansas. Where the heck am I? Haunted Hill House. That was, where was that? Texas? Yeah. Yeah.
The Hill
Haunted
House.
Hill.
Yeah, it is in Texas. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. You're right.
Yeah, it's really close to the Baker Hotel. The
yes.
Baker Hotel.
Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In fact, when we went there, we had friends that were in the paranormal community, and they had, locks all around the hotel because it was abandoned. But I guess some, big corporation, big wig guy came in, and he's, doing all these renovations now, and they're going to... Mineral Wells, Texas, where?
Okay.
Oh,
The
Mineral
Haunted Hill
Wells.
House.
Mineral
Yes.
Wells.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mineral Wells.
Yeah, that's
So
the
we
place
got
that's
to
also
go
got
run
that
around
hotel.
the Baker. Yeah, we got to run around the Baker Hotel.
Yeah.
They opened the gate for us. They took the lock off, and we got to
Nice.
go in. We couldn't go inside, but there was many
That's-
places where you could.
Is that the one that had the spa in it or whatever back in the day that was supposed to have the healing waters from the mineral springs?
Yeah, the healing water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that would be a cool place to see.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. So that is an interesting place too. If you ever want to take a road trip.
I always want to take a
I
road
did so
trip.
many road trips. I needed to get a new car.
Well, yeah. I mean, of course, I've been trying to get these guys to go with me down to Galveston 100 times, and they haven't yet. But
I went, but it was just a spontaneous thing during COVID time.
Yeah.
That
Everything was shut down.
I didn't get to go do anything because everything was shut down.
Yeah.
But
well, you can go to Walmart. That's one of the most haunted places in Galveston.
Hey, you
But-
can wear your jammies.
you know what?
Or
I go to
journeys places.
Yeah.
Walmart enough around here. It's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Galveston is beautiful, and then of course, any place in Louisiana. I mean, the Myrtles,
Right.
10 Mile Bridge. I mean, come
Yeah.
on, there's so
Well,
much there to see.
And Dan, man, I would love to go back to Bell Witch Cave and be able to actually use some equipment there.
Yeah, these guys.
Have you ever been there, Janice?
No, where is that?
It is
Tennessee.
in Kentucky.
Tennessee.
Kentucky or It's
Tennessee.
right on the
Tennessee.
border.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it is in Tennessee.
Mhm.
Yeah, where John Bell apparently was, and his family is accosted by the witch.
Yeah.
Me and Dan went there actually on our way back from the Bigfoot Festival in North Carolina. We stopped in there.
Yeah.
They
That was
actually
really
caught
cool.
some cool footage inside the cave.
Yeah, some light
interesting
anomalies
things.
coming
Can't
shooting out of the
spot
ceiling.
anomalies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we
Speaking about caves, I saw this YouTube video. It was a guy who went into a cave, and he got all this bizarre, voices. It almost sounded like chanting. It was really freaky. Yeah, I think that would be interesting. Any cave,
Right.
for that matter.
Yeah. We've only explored a couple, other than these guys doing the Bell Witch. We had a couple of caves we've been into down in, or the same place we experienced Bigfoot down in northeast Oklahoma.
Right.
And those were always interesting too. I mean, they're smaller caves. They're not the big, gigantic, walk around cave. You have to climb through it, and hopefully you don't come out with brown recluses on you and stuff like that, because there are spiders everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, they're not going to eat much.
Yeah, and some copperhead snakes and whatnot. But we had some weird experience around those caves too. It's on Native American land, and some possible had a lot of weird interactions. Anything from to shapeshifters to possible. I don't even know what to say. I don't know if they're inhumane spirits, possibly maybe elementals. I'm not even sure what they were, but some of them followed us back to Kansas City area, which was interesting and frightening at the same time. But
So we've almost got.
So you ever leave that investigation at night and you're driving by yourself and you keep looking in your rearview mirror?
All the time.
I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Normally I'm just trying to stay awake, so I'm chugging coffee or something.
Well, you try to. I mean, we always try to go into places, and it's kind of like the opening and closing the portal thing, or whatever. Like same thing with this Ouija board, spirit box kind of session we're talking about earlier. But you go in and you say your piece, say I'm here to investigate, kind of a thing, and then when you leave, I always kind of do a little one-off, even if it's by myself. I'll walk around and say thank you for joining us this evening, and kind of and shutting it off.
I was going to say, if you ever get a chance to do the Child's Play Graveyard in that is Leroy, Kansas, around Burlington.
Really?
Oh,
we weren't, and I don't normally do graveyards, but we were invited there by the radio station, the Dog radio station, by one of the DJs, and so we went and checked it out. And I think we've been there 3 or 4 times, but we've always got good stuff in that graveyard. And
Interesting.
I guess the story is, you drive down the dirt road, which there's dirt roads everywhere. You have to get into the place.
Gotcha.
Apparently, you're going to have all this dirt on your car, and when you leave, you're going to see little handprints.
Nice.
I've never seen little handprints,
Jason, there's your road trip.
but we've had a lot of different experiences there.
Yeah.
And
like what type of
lot of
experiences did you have?
we were out there one time, and it sounded like Victrola music, and there's no way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no way. And Gene from the radio station, he was taking photos, and I know people don't like orbs, but I tend to go with, am I watching it on video and seeing how it travels? And
Sure.
Right.
I'm not going to throw it out. I'm not going to throw it out. So that may make people mad, but I don't care. But this one, and in fact, I have it on the Paranormal page too, and it's a orb, and it looks like 2 little eyeballs and a little face in this. And it was right by this tree that we always seem to get a lot of activity. And then we had the motion detectors sitting up off of the truck and kind of like at the front of the graveyard. And there was nobody or nothing around that area. And it was just one motion detector, actually. And the thing went off. And then it went off again, and it made the sound that none of us had ever heard before. So I thought, well, maybe I need to change the batteries. And then it did it again. So, and then my team members, well, I know it's me and my team member Heidi. We have something happen to us physically when we're going to get paranormal activity. And I know this sounds crazy, but we get cramps in our feet.
Oh.
And me and Heidi were cramping so bad that it literally brought her down to her knees in that graveyard. And so that's kind of the empathic thing with me. I just don't like to share it much because people think it's crazy or they
Take your shoes off.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we've learned. And we did one night. We had to. I literally took my shoes off, and it was like 40 degrees outside, and it was at the Chitopa, that haunted asylum. I wish that place hadn't burned to the ground, but that place was pretty interesting too. So. Yeah, when I came to Kansas, it's like, you got to create your own fun because what the heck else do you do?
Right.
Yes.
No, that's interesting you say about the kind of you can tell when it's coming, because I know when we go on locations, I can tell when something's about to happen too, just because I have kind of a ringing in my ears where it's like I can't explain what it is. It's like if you hear like a sonar.
I get it, because I've got like the buzz in my ear where it almost feels like, there's something in my ear.
Right.
Or your body is like sometimes your best piece of equipment.
Mm-hmm.
The hair on your arm start to stand up, and you just, you feel it. You feel it coming.
Right, yeah.
So,
yeah, no, it's just like you're underwater.
And the longer you do it, I think the more in tune you are with yourself and your situation.
Yep.
So I had a question for Janice. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Janice, what's your favorite piece of equipment to use on investigations?
My favorite?
Yep.
Okay, well, so I said, when it came to the cameras, like my night vision camera and my voice recorder, but I'm going to pick two. And one is I personally, and a lot of people don't like them, my SLS camera. And the other piece of equipment is my thermal imager. So those would be my two favorite, besides the voice recorder and a camera.
Yeah.
What FLIR imager are you using right now?
The thermal?
Yeah.
It is a flare. I wish it recorded. It doesn't. It just takes photos.
Okay.
It wasn't cheap, but I wish I had a better one. Not that this one's bad. It's good, and it's really good because I live in the sticks, and I have 5 animals, and a lot of times I can't find them outside.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, the one I've been looking at.
You'll find them.
Yeah, that one's probably the one that shoots out about 100 feet.
Yeah, it wasn't cheap. This one wasn't cheap, but I wish I had a better one now, and I had probably invested more money into one.
Yeah.
And then the SLS came out. It was when Bill Chappell just brought them out, and I was actually investigating with David Schrader, and he talked me and one of the guys in chat, the Douglas T. Martin, basically talked us into buying that one, and now I see that they come out with so many different, people making them, and they're way cheaper. I don't even want to tell you what we paid for ours.
Well, the thing is, every one of those LCLSs, they've stolen all the software is the same, so it's all now the same, which is good. But.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll tell you, what made me really interested in that is when we were with Dave Schrader, and we were at the Pintian Castle, and he was he had picked up something, and I think one of the motion sensors went off, and he saw the stick figure come up, and he asked it, if this is you, please raise your hand over your head, and it was doing exactly what he was trying to do.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
And then we were in another area, and everybody was in a circle, and apparently this area was like where a lot of children were, so he said, well, let's everybody start singing nursery rhymes. So everybody was doing nursery rhymes, and next thing you know, this one apparently pops up like right next to me, and it looked like it was dancing. So and you can record with those, at least the one I have you can record with, but I tend to not use it for that because otherwise it kills the battery.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I just use it basically. Yeah, I use it to basically map things out. Right. And then, like I say, with other equipment, if things start correlating, if you got this going off and this going off and that going off, and then you get, an EVP, then I'm a skeptic. So I have to have a lot of proof.
Sure.
So, and there's a lot of times people on the team are like, I think this is paranormal, and I was like, I don't think it is. So, well, sorry, it's got to slap me in the face first.
Sure.
Yeah. No, we record on our SLS. We won't use the recording software on there. We record behind it with one of our cameras that we can at least capture in the moments. Hopefully, it's something that you can go back and see.
Yeah, you sort of get the full picture that way.
Yeah. So we go behind
Okay,
them.
Molly. Yeah, Molly said that was down actually in the morgue.
Oh, okay.
So.
In the Belvoir?
Yeah. At
Yep.
the Belvoir, yeah.
I want to go in there so bad.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's on our list to go out there. It's just every time we plan on doing stuff, either some of those places are either too booked up, or because of like some of the shows, like I said, that have gone out there, they inflate their prices just a little too much sometimes.
Well, and I know now that they have rooms that you can rent,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if you can like do the investigation part of that, in the room. We always go when there's an event, because that was the only time they were offering the investigation.
Mm-hmm.
But like I say, there's a lot of people, and one time we went and there was a guy, like, he had to walk with a walker, and like I say, and it's like all the crunching glass and everything. But I did like one of the, I don't know who said it, but you said the older people are keeping up with you, and that's the thing, is you get these people. Sometimes I get more of a kick out of watching people investigate than I do really out of the event part of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
definitely. Yep. No.
Because a lot of people on those events, it's their first time.
Right.
So then it's like, okay, let's bring out some toys so they can play with some more stuff.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's fun to talk to the people who were skeptical at the beginning of the night, talk to them at the end of the night, and see
what their thoughts have changed.
See what kind of evening they've had,
Yeah, definitely.
Sometimes it's nothing,
you
but
got to go in
sometimes
with
it's
the right
fun.
mindset.
Right. Wow. Yep. No, yeah, we definitely love to have you join us along, or come along with us we can get you out to Dodge City.
I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah, we got some things. We did go. You mentioned Burlington, or south of Burlington. The only places we went out there in Burlington, we went to. And I'm the only person on the team that got to go because some of these guys weren't part of the team yet, or they couldn't make it. And we did the Coffee County Museum twice out there, and that place was incredible. I mean, just for the building itself. I mean, a lot of the artifacts they have in there, plus the activity we caught in there.
Where was that?
This the Coffee County Museum. It's inside Burlington in the actual town.
Yeah, because we did the museum in Burlington too.
Mm-hmm.
It's been so long ago. I
Yeah,
can't
same
even remember.
here.
And then now they have. You guys know Justin Spurrier. He's gone off to bigger things with Zach, and he's running his haunted museum now.
Mm-hmm.
But he bought a house there.
Oh.
What is the name of that house? Anyhow, they're offering tours.
Yeah.
In the house now.
Yeah.
Or investigations, but it's like high dollar.
Of course.
But I was there when he first bought the house, and he was going through everything and cleaning things out. And I don't know actually how active it is. I've been there, I think, 3 times in broad daylight, and so I can't even think of the name of that house. I still got Molly here. Molly, do you know the name of the house? See if she answers me in chat.
Yeah, she's been pretty good so far. So, no, we had good. We had a good evidence at the Burlington, at the Coffee County Museum. I mean, but like I said, we haven't been out there since probably. I think it was 2011 or 12 when I went out there.
Yeah.
And we went out there a couple of times. They asked us. I don't know how they got a hold of us. They wanted to see if for their commerce, they actually asked us to come out and investigate, and we went out there and did our thing. It was just 3 of our team members out there, including myself, and there's one of the board members and her husband was with us the whole night, and they were surprised of all the stuff that we actually interacted with. And I actually did speaking of the dog, I know who the dog is, the radio station. I did a radio interview for them out there just before we went out there and afterwards. And it's interesting. I mean, they really embrace, for it being such a small town, they really embrace their paranormal, which is pretty fun. They used to do that walking tour. Was it the mayor, I think, used to do the walking tour?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And he would take you around town.
If you talk to anyone, Gene Morrow, his handle is the Bounty Hunter.
Yep.
Anyhow, when I put the call out for my very first investigation, I think it was in 2011 where I was inviting people on to come be a part of the team or a part of a real investigation or whatever. We traveled all the way to from Burlington down this way and we investigated the Neosho hospital. So we've been, and I just finished that podcast with him. But yeah, he's really into it. He doesn't really have the time to like invest in being on a team or whatever. But if you're ever his way, look him up, because he loves to go run around in the dark too.
No, cool.
He always takes off. He always takes off with my SC7. I'm always like, I gotta have an extra SC7 for Gene. That's his favorite piece of equipment.
That's awesome. Yeah, like I said, I can't remember who the lady's name I was with, who got in touch with us. She used to be the curator of the museum. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. I think she's still maybe there, or maybe she's not anymore, but that was years ago. Like I said, I'd reached out to him once just to see if we'd go back in there, and they never got back with me, so maybe they may have changed hands. But
I'm thinking we either got in there by Gene, or I have a team member on my team at the time.
Oh.
Well, he's still with us, but at the time he was a cop.
Oh, okay.
In Burlington. So so I can't remember if it was Gene or him who got us in there.
Gotcha. Is it the Garnet Hotel?
But I was going to say, well, not the museum. If it was the museum, what I'm thinking was there was a place upstairs, and there was like there was all these different cases of, different like artifacts and things. And there was this big picture of a man on the wall, and we started getting all this stuff over the voice recorder. And next thing you know, what was coming across the voice recorder was the name and the description of the man that was in the photo.
Oh, wow. Huh.
So what's the odds of that happening? Yeah, those are times when because a lot of people think SB7s are crap, but there are times where I really believe, what I'm getting when it does something like that. So.
Yeah, we were getting actually disembodied voices of... It was interesting because they have a train display out there of all these little model trains and stuff, and we were getting songs that like somebody come through singing songs of something about a train on there, and we still can't to this day figure out what song it is, but it was the fact that it was right next to the train display. We had a stationary recorder going there, and there was nobody in the room, and this person singing a song. It was kind of mind-blowing. So they said it was Justin Spurrier purchased the Garnet Hotel? Is that what you're saying? Okay.
What it is.
Okay.
Yeah, and now it is with, oh my gosh, I can't remember the other fellow's name.
Rob?
You used to have him on Facebook, but Rob.
Yeah, Rob Garcia.
Yeah. Yeah, he's taking it over. In fact, Justin also, he had purchased one building over here in, what is that, Erie, Kansas?
Okay.
And one day he called me up and he's like, "Do you want to like investigate?" And I was like, "I'm still in my uniform from work." And he's like, "Oh, if you can't, just shoot over here." So I did. And but the building that he purchased is just sitting there empty now.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I know he was like looking for places to fix up where people could come investigate.
Sure.
I know that Rob Garcia also has that church in, I think it's La Harpe, Kansas. But I know these places too, they don't have electricity, so it's not like someplace you want to go run around in at this time of year. Yeah,
they don't have anything, because I know he's always going live there we're still friends with Rob on Facebook and stuff, and he's always going live there, and he's talking about how cold it is and everything, and he's no electricity hardly, and it's just it'll have to take a special trip out there to go to go investigate. But I would still like to though.
And like I said, I'm gonna work on getting the Browns mansion, so I will hit you guys up when I do that, because I'd rather have I thought about putting it up for events, but then you're kind of having to watch everybody and make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. And
hey, I can help you with that.
Huh?
I can help you with that.
Yeah.
That's all I end up doing is watching everybody.
Yeah.
You become the babysitter.
Yeah, I do.
Yep.
I do.
He misses all the fun because of it, but hey,
I do.
That's part of being the event organizer. I get it.
But I want it to go off well, and I want everybody to have a good time.
And I'll tell you, we got probably one of our best things in the Butler's Quarter.
Really?
When we were there. and there was a lamp that sat there, and the ground is concrete, and it had this chain on it. And next thing you know, we hear this tink, tink, tink. So the chain is moving. And there's no way anybody could make that move because you can't make concrete move.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like you're standing on a wooden floor or something. So that room, that whole room, the vibe in that room is really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had an area down there they call the bowling alley.
Yeah.
And that place was pretty interesting there, too. There was a fellow that was on the event with us, and he got some pretty interesting photos in that area.
Wow.
So, yeah, like I said, I know she has to get through Valentine's Day first before she can.
No worries. Yeah.
Start setting anything up.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. And like I said, we got some places around here we can talk to you about coming around with us too and investigate with us. Like I said, we love networking with good teams that are in it for the right reason, and the ones that are not, like you said, the bad teams that put their names out there and only want it for the wrong reasons, kind of a thing. And I know we share kind of the same likeness as far as, like-mindedness, which I appreciate. So
You bet.
we'll definitely get you involved with us.
Any last questions?
Great.
Yeah, no, I think
It's 9 o'clock.
Yeah, it's
already.
9 o'clock almost on the dot. Well, 9:03.
I saw a
But
couple shadow people run behind Renee.
I know. I saw that too.
See me shaking my head.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep. So.
Ah.
Nope. Well, we want to thank our guests. Janice, go ahead and stay on the line. We'll talk to you off air here in just a few seconds, but once the show wraps up. We want to thank our special guest this evening, Janice. I'm going to butcher her name again. Somebody help me out. Leah? Leah. I said it, Leah.
You got it.
Neosho.
You got it.
Way to go.
That's actually my middle name, but that's okay. I don't like my last name out there.
I
I
got
don't
you.
like to give too much information.
I don't blame
Good
you.
call.
No, always keep them guessing.
It's like Leo, but Leah.
Nah, that's too hard to say.
I am a Leo, by the way.
I'm not, other than name. But
Connection.
no, we want to thank you this evening for joining us. Like I said, Janice, Leah from Neosho County Paranormal Investigators, who was our special guest this evening. No, we had you booked previously, and unfortunately, life happens, like we said, and we're glad to have you back now. And plus, you gave us a great referral that night for Gail Fontenot out of New Orleans, or Louisiana, not necessarily New Orleans, but Louisiana. She was our guest that took your place that night, and she was fun. And we'll have the two of you back on together at some point here soon in the near future. So
That'd be great.
definitely. So we'll sit tight for just a second, Janice. We'll talk to you off air, and then we're going to wrap up our show this evening. This has been episode number 130 of the Cryptic Heartland podcast with special guest Janice Leah of Neosho County Paranormal Investigators. And, of course, all of us, I'm Leo. We got Jason, Jake, Andy, Dan, and then Renee. So we'll see you next week at the same time with another episode of Cryptic Heartland podcast.
You bet.
See you guys.
See
Good
ya.
night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.